From Anna Wintour saying the Kardashians aren't classy enough for the Met Gala, to an attempt to ban them from the entire state of Florida, here are the places the Kardashians have been blacklisted from, and why. First up, let's see why they're banned from the Met fashion event and what Kanye West has done to change that. Anna hates Kim Kardashian and for the longest time saw her and her family as the complete opposite of fashion and elegance. Since Wintour is an important trustee and financial contributor at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, she's allowed to call the shots for the whole thing. And yes, that includes the guest list. But it looks like the fashion legend eventually came around, because Kardashians have now become a staple of the event. And the reason is interesting. After Kim married Kanye, Anna finally warmed up to the idea of having the royalty of reality TV walk the Met Gala carpet. To prove that she's willing to let bygones be bygones, she put Kanye on the cover of Vogue in 2014. But there were rumors this year that the Kardashian clan just might not end up making the cut for the list. It wouldn't be too surprising since Kim K is responsible for breaking one of the biggest rules of the show: no selfies. Besides the constant snaps they're taking of themselves, this family might be one of the most photographed on Earth. They have a film crew following them everywhere, which is why they're banned from this spot in Miami. Residents of South Beach refused to let the Kardashians film there. Most of the people living in this area, including their neighbors, were not happy with the idea of an entire season being shot there. But rather than chasing them off with pitchforks, they decided to do things in a more civilized manner by refusing to sign the paperwork that would allow the filming to start. So the set of Kourtney and Kim Take Miami had to relocate to a gated community in North Miami Beach, and things weren't quite as sophisticated there. Most of their shooting took place with hourly hotels, abandoned buildings, strip clubs, and 7-Elevens nearby. But this isn't the only time their filming's been interrupted, because residents just couldn't stand them. Kourtney and Khloe were banned from the Hamptons. How many spin-offs does one show need? Well, too many if you're talking about the Kardashians. Kourtney and Khloe Take the Hamptons is one example of a completely unnecessary spin-off. And the most hilarious thing, the Hamptons wanted absolutely nothing to do with these sisters. Even though the place is constantly occupied by celebs, most of them go to the fancy Long Island town to get some privacy. But these two, with their flashy film crew and paparazzi-attracting powers, turned the place into the media frenzy it had been trying not to become. When they arrived with their TV crew, there were a lot of locals outright yelling at them to go home. Even local restaurant owners joined in the Kardashian hate train and banned them from dining at their popular joints. The ladies had to go wrap up filming in Hamptons Bay instead, which is, by the way, nowhere near as lavish or vacation-worthy as their original location. One local went as far as to say that she viewed this family as the plague and was just trying to survive them. Now, all this proves that there are a lot of people out there who just can't warm up to the reality stars. But sometimes, the blacklist comes from inside the house too. Kendall banned everyone but her parents from attending her Victoria's Secret show. The model wasn't shy about this decision and proudly explained later that she'd told them all to stay away. It's unclear why this ban happened in the first place, though. Was it that intense stage fright you get when you know your loved ones are in the audience? Or is it the fact that your loved ones would most definitely make the whole thing about themselves? I think it's the latter, but everyone respected Kenny's decision and kept a distance. Funnily enough, this isn't the first time one member of the family has introduced sanctions on the rest. When Kim and Kanye tied the knot, Khloe was allowed to attend, on the condition that she'd keep her mouth shut. But Kendall isn't always the one carrying out the blacklisting. She's been on the blacklist too. She wasn't allowed to party at Coachella's Neon Carnival. The model was underage at the time, but that didn't stop her pop star pal, Justin Bieber, from trying to come to the rescue. He tried to get this issue sorted by doing what he does best, throwing a huge bratty tantrum. But the security didn't budge an inch. Kendall was only 19 at the time of entry, so the two celebs and 20 more of their friends had to have their IDs checked. It is obvious that her connections weren't enough to get her entry, but like true friends, her entourage decided to stick with their buddy and go somewhere where she'd be allowed to attend. Gotta say, besides connections, even flattery can't reverse a blacklist. Khloe Kardashian dubbed this person a silver fox on Twitter, but it wasn't enough to warrant an entry in his program. Anderson Cooper, 360, will probably never report on the Kardashians, even though Khloe's been open about her love for him. Now, he hasn't officially stated that there's a ban on the Kardashians, but in an episode of Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live, there was a game in which Cooper's assistant had to answer questions for him. One of the juicy questions was, who'd the journalist never have on Anderson Cooper 360? The answer? His assistant was quick to answer, the Kardashians. This broadcaster would prefer to talk about some pressing global issues than some new drama in the Kardashian clan. Speaking of, this family's been banned from this prestigious event's after-party for how much drama they cause when they're drunk. The entire family's blacklisted from Oscar parties, and it's all momager Kris Kardashian's fault. In a Raleigh Studios Oscar party, Kris Jenner partied so hard that she ended up getting not just herself, but all of her kids were banned from attending future Oscar parties. Keeping Up with the Kardashians fans know that the family's always said that they're not heavy drinkers, but moments from their show, and the fact that Kris's wild night out was enough to warrant a blacklisting is proof that this statement is false. Next, we have a member of the family who was banned from being far too young to drink. Kylie was denied access at Greystone Manor. Props to this West Hollywood club for strictly following the rules, even when the person breaking them is Kylie Jenner. The makeup guru wasn't allowed to enter this club because, well, it's a club, and she was only 17 at the time. The girl was dating Tyga at the time, who was scheduled to make an appearance there. But the rapper decided to ditch his commitments for his underage girlfriend. He ended up ringing the club multiple times on the day he was supposed to make his appearance, just to ask if she'd be added to the guest list. When the promoters responded with a very firm no, Tyga decided to get lit at another nearby club called Argyle. Now that we've gone through all the official bans this family has dealt with, here's one that was unsuccessful. A prisoner tried to ban them from Florida. A man named Wayne Albright, who's in prison for being an offender, tried to get this famous family banned from the entire state of Florida, all except Rob. I wonder what it was that ticked him off so much, but it must have been serious. He even had some choice words for Kim and Kanye, calling them moose knuckles. Not only that, he wanted the two to be completely banned from ever coming on TV. I'm sure it'd be lovely if we'd all just ban the people we don't like from the screens, but that's not how the world works. The Florida prisoner also let it be known that the only way he'd be okay with seeing Kim Ye on the screen is if they're making an appearance on court TV on trial for posing as a famous couple. While I'm sure not everyone's the biggest fan of them, but no one's gone to such lengths to keep them out of their sights. Albright didn't stop with this outrageous demand, though. He also asked that the couple be banned from crossing state lines. So, from an attempt to ban them from the entire state of Florida to Anna Wintour saying the Kardashians aren't classy enough for the Met Gala, these were all the places the Kardashian family is blacklisted from.